As you all well know, I am now in this Stormblood expansion. After dealing with the trauma of the Heavensward ending, I am changing through expansions. I've decided that I was going to play a new job, and the particular job that I have has a bit of reputation for being, well, suffering. That new job is, of course, the Black Mage, and let me tell you, it's been quite interesting. Here's what happened. Thaumaturge and Black Mage story elements and spoilers throughout. So with me picking up a new class to play in Stormblood, I decided that I would choose a ranged DPS. So I had the choice between either range physical or range magical. And I'm not gonna lie, Machinist was very, very close to being my choice for a while. But I figured what better way to get the caster experience in Final Fantasy XIV than to go into the most challenging caster that apparently is in the game. Well, this is suffering completely. For the first 10 levels that I've had, I have absolutely no gear for casters. I played a tank and other Disciples of War, so playing a Thaumaturge, I had nothing. Legit, all I had was a pair of gloves and Edmond's coat from Korthos. I wasn't even wearing pants. Alright, well, the quests start us off heading to the ossuary in Ul'dah to meet up with the headmaster, and this headmaster is actually right on the money for what I expected. He's a Lalafell. It wouldn't make sense to me if it wasn't a Lala, I'm just saying. Infinitesimal cosmic power of destruction, of course, put into the littlest itty-bitty package. Of course it was going to be one of these guys. Well, it's actually not just one. It's 6 of them, total. And they're all brothers. They are the leaders of the guild here to teach you all about the magics of destruction and basically how to stay alive. Avoid fights that you aren't 100% sure that you are going to win. Each one of the quests starts fairly similar to the Lancer or the Marauder. Go and kill some of these small mobs, then kill slightly harder mobs, or what have you. What I didn't expect was for me to be very, very weak. I know I didn't have much gear, but when it takes 7 to 10 seconds to kill a single mob, half that gets the crap kicked out of it. And please, for the life of me, someone help me here. Geez, well, for me to do any damage, I basically have to spend up to 3 seconds casting a single spell. And the Thaumaturge quests take a change when we meet the brother's youngest sibling, Coco Bussy. But they nickname him Bussy, and which I have to share with you now because the internet has absolutely ruined me. Well, Bussy doesn't have any etheric magic to him, so he's very much unlike his brothers. He dabbles into alchemy in hopes that he can create a draw that will give him a boost of aetheric power so he could be a thaumaturge like his brothers. Well, Bussy joins us on a quest to destroy an urn because he wants to prove himself to his brothers, and apparently the urn holds an evil demonic spirit. But to get to this damn urn, we had to take every little bit of stress and gray hairs that I have to make it all the way through. I had to use the sleep spell. I had to actually use crowd control, which was surprising to me. I'm absolutely getting trash canned by every mob that I run into. Good gracious. Well, if I didn't have sleep and passive regen, I would have gotten roasted so much faster. Well, of course, Bussy wants to smash the urn himself, but he ends up soaking in all the evil death juice from inside, and now we have a problem. He is possessed. The next few quests have us dealing with various problems in and around Thanalan, except now Thaumaturge are having their magic sucked dry by some demon. Guess who it is? Well, I have to admit, getting some of the spells really start to become a little bit more aware of what I need to do as far as balancing between the mana usage and the actual damage focus, so between fire and ice. The dungeons are funny because despite me feeling like I'm putting out tons and tons of damage, I'm actually doing very little. The spells feel powerful, but when the numbers actually come across, it's like tickle, tickle. Well, the story continues that Bussy is draining all the aetheric power from the other Thaumaturge, and he was going to kill me, and if not, I was saved by the oldest brother. And apparently the only way to defeat this demon is by killing Bussy. Well, the older brother does some research and finds out that if he wants to save his brother, they need to make the demon full form. So the oldest brother sacrifices his own aether for the demon to suck him dry, giggity, and release the demon from his youngest brother. Then we have to kill it, meaning that me and all the other brothers, however, they are all basically scaredy cats because, well, you know, they've avoided fights their whole life. That's what a mage does. That was what we were taught. This whole time basically feels like it's just me leading a bunch of children around to go defeat an evil demon. I'm just saying. Well, we kill the big demon lady, and Bussy brings out one of his aetheric salves that saves his brother from dying and then is welcomed and respected amongst his peers. And this is where the journey takes a twist. As we wrap up the Thaumaturge story, we are then approached by the guild headmaster to have us check in on a mage who was put into a giant pit for unspeakable crimes. Well, actually, just claiming that they hear the voice of Nodthal, a god. Well, we close a planar fissure and kill some demons, and then head back to the ossuary to report in. However, before we can get back out the door, in walks a new Black Mage, which I tried to say his name like 6 times, but from henceforth he will be known as Quackers. I have been told that the badder the mage, the bigger the hat. Well, it plays point here, to be honest. Well, he does in fact look like a big bad mage, and he insults the guild headmaster of the thaumaturge and then begs us to come visit him to learn how to actually be a black mage. Essentially, we go on a planar fissure closing spree, but what's interesting is I'm tasked with meeting with a number of beastmen tribes to strengthen our connection to the black mages. Ixals, Amaljas, and Kobolds. Apparently, they are all descendants of the original beastmen that were black mages that taught Quackers how to be an efficient and powerful black mage. All this continues on for a little bit, with the beastmen allowing me to commune with them and controlling the power of the black mage, and we just closed so many damn portals. Like, it's just nothing but closing portals. But we're taught the black mage skills that were lost to the history books. Well, we meet back up with Quacker's assistant, only to find that the famed black mage isn't meditating. He's completely gone. And all the relics that we have been gathering, Quackers now intends to open up a void gate and summon in a demon that will destroy all of Eorzea. I mean, I really hate to say it, but why is it all the damn time it is some type of massive existential threat that's going to destroy the world? Every single time. It never fails. Well, we rush off to confront Quackers with our bestie Beast Boys, but the problem is that we're too late and the demon is summoned. So we have to fight for a little bit to take him down, but after we do, we learn that Quackers had us all gather the relics to summon the demon so that we could destroy it. He was imprisoned 100 years ago for apparently committing huge crimes, and really, he was just a mage who wanted to learn more about the dark arts. And when he studied with the Beastman ancestors, they all grew in power. They became a group of friends. Well, during the final ritual, he decided to take the power that was being channeled for his own usage, and in turn, the demon was summoned, made real by the flesh and bodies and souls of the beastmen who had become his friends. Literally, they formed together like some kind of twisted horror film amalgamation. Damn, Final Fantasy XIV, you're dark. Well, he used every last little bit of power that he had to seal the demon away, and then he imprisoned himself for 100 years as atonement for his hubris, which is actually really, like, I get it. Like, he was a young mage and he made a mistake, and oh, wow. We lay them all to rest. Quackers finally passes, and we had complete the Black Mage story. So, legit, I thought that the Black Mage was going to be boring, and to be sure, it kind of started out that way. Everything moving very slow, cast times being inching along. However, I've been thoroughly impressed with how great the feeling of the spells are, specifically using Flare. Man, I love using Flare, especially when I time it appropriately, like large AoE situations. It's so good. I now understand why to play Black Mage is to suffer, because you basically can't use any damaging spells if you are moving. You are a turret, and the longer you are rooted, the bigger your DPS will be. Great concept, but man, it's stressful timing with all these moves appropriately. I will say that I have loved the fact that I have learned slide casting, timing my spells so that the last little bit of the cast timer completes and then I've already started moving. It feels really smooth and kind of like skillful, like when I actually pull it off. Also, planning my spells and where I can cast them is probably the most fun I've had in a while, because it feels like it's a sense of strategy. I need to make sure that I'm in the right spot, or at least moving towards the right spot, in between my GCD. And I'm not lingering on the complexity of the mechanics because of me being stationary. I need to keep moving. It really does require more of a careful eye than I had with the Dragoon, to be honest. Overall, I am really liking the Black Mage, and I hold it as a tribute to the shenanigans of Papa Meow. May he rest in pepperonis. I'm just gonna have to figure out the glam for it appropriately, but yeah, it's for my boy. If you want to see that time that I decided to pick up the Dragoon, you can see the complete collection here. Otherwise, stay caffeinated, folks.